Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, you gotta keep this on the down low. We're covering I Have a Crush at Work. Welcome, everybody. This is Shonen Jumping the Gun. I am your most managerial manager ever, Kermit D, here with my coworker, co-host, Isekai Sensei-Sama, Brad. Brad, how you doing?
Don't tell people you gotta keep. Shh.
We work together. Truthfully, we did used to work together, and by that I mean we worked in the same office. We never worked on the same projects, which, admittedly, probably for the best.
Why?
I don't know. Because both of us would know the other one's actual technical abilities, and I feel like that would change a vibe. Maybe that's just for me.
I don't care if you know how good I am.
Oh, I appreciate the confidence. But as stated today, we are this is, if we release these in the orders we intend to, this is episode 3 of our romance arc.
We are decidedly in the middle of our romance arc.
Yes, time has passed since the first 2 that you have hopefully heard at this point, and we are following up here with one suggested by Brad that he had read called I Have a Crush at Work.
I'll be honest with you, I know this one will come out beforehand. Sweat and Soap.
Yes, it has to.
When we covered that, I was like, this is so similar to this other one that I read. We should cover this one too, and we can, compare and contrast.
This is like Sweat and Soap if you took out the smell stuff.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
you cleaned all the carpets. They didn't work at a soap place.
Spoiler alert. Into volume 4 or 5 of Sweat and Soap, they start telling people. They stop keeping it a secret. Yeah. Whereas this one, we're reaching the end, and only 3 people know.
That's probably fine. Let's even get into it. We're getting ahead of ourselves right now. So. Let's do our.
What even is this? The reason we ask what even is this is because the first chapter of this, there's no action. There's no crazy set pieces. It's just people talking. So we're going to do something a little different.
Yeah.
There's no speedrun summary for this.
Welcome to Manga Podcast Theater.
Why don't the two of us date in secret?
Are you aware, dear reader? Every day in offices where people are hard at work for the better part of the day, there are no small number of romances blooming in secret.
Hey, what do you think of secret office romances?
What do I think? Nothing, really. That came out of nowhere.
Oh, come on. What a dull reaction.
Knowing the unit head, she's asking because she saw something on the morning news.
You know me too well. I figured I might discover someone who had seen it and gotten a little antsy over their own lack of romance. You guys are so boring.
Please stop.
The unit head really likes talking about this kind of stuff.
Come on, Tataishi, you're not even a little interested? Tanaka-kun in sales and Yoshioka-san in HR are totally going out.
They work on different floors, so isn't that unlikely?
They had the same souvenirs after coming back to work twice. And it's fishy that they each took a day of paid vacation at the same time. And those 2 people that came in were apparently going out until a month ago.
It's not something that people should be doing, is what you made me think just now.
I really don't know what those people are thinking. I mean, what are they coming into work to do? Taking paid vacations at the same time and whatnot? Why go to such lengths to keep it a secret?
You just don't get it. Going to such lengths is what's so fun about it. People will find out. We have to hide it. To the people in love, these situations don't get in the way. They fan the flames of passion. Keeping an office romance a secret is a common type of fantasy, after all.
Fantasy, huh? You're turning me against it more and more, with the way you put things. Okay. How about we get back to work now?
Tataishi-kun?
What's your problem? Is rejecting our receipts left and right fun for you?
Mitsuya.
Suda is already written out perfectly clearly, saying it looks like she. How anal can you get? It's totally legible. I mean, you guys are the accountants, so what you say goes, but...
It's not my fault. The assistant general manager is really strict about this kind of stuff. At any rate, I can't accept it the way it is now.
Ugh, you slave to bureaucracy.
She's as brutal as ever, isn't she?
You guys started here at the same time, right? You two should learn to get along. Well, us accountants aren't exactly popular.
Speaking of receipts, yesterday...
I've been...
Sorry for being so mean at work today. I didn't mean any of it. Not a single bit.
I thought I might have been dumped after a single day. Engaged in a secret office romance since yesterday.
It's because it's only been a single day that I didn't know how I should act at work. My boss suddenly asked me to go over to your department.
We're really dating, right?
That's why I came to your place, isn't it?
Yeah. Doki, who fight like cats and dogs, is how the two of us are known. But it seems like, somehow, we held special feelings toward each other. After a long and careful probing and seesawing behind the scenes, we finally became lovers yesterday. So I know we already talked about this, but I guess we really should keep this quiet.
Yep, that's for sure.
From the other Doki, too?
For now, anyways. Did you want to tell them?
No, that's not it at all. But instead of arguing like today, I was thinking I'd like for us to speak normally at work.
Sorry, no can do. Today when we met at work for the first time since we started dating, it made me think.
So you're going to be that merciless all the time, even though I'm your boyfriend?
If I don't act really mean, then my feelings for you are just gonna overflow and it'll be super obvious.
Cute.
Anyway, even if we pass each other in the corridors, our eyes shouldn't meet, and on days we see each other at night, we should meet at least 3 stations away, just like today, and then leave separately in the morning. And on days off, we'll have dates at either of our places. No going outside on dates, okay?
We're really dating, right?
Yup.
Cute. Wait, shouldn't we be able to go out together when we're off work?
No way! Carelessness is the enemy, and we met at work today. Your heart went doki, right? That's dangerous.
Ugh. Got me there.
There's more.
Seriously? Actually, why do you look so happy? It's not that I want to flirt while we're at the office or tell people we're together or anything like that.
Keeping an office romance a secret is a common fantasy. These situations fan the flames of passion.
It's not a hobby of mine, and I don't even have the leeway to fantasize like that. But I want a little more of that feeling that we're going out every single day. Enough to make up for how long it took us to get together. That would be really nice.
Ah, but if we put on masks, then maybe we could get out a date after all.
This woman is really cute.
Sorry about this, putting so many things off limits. It's just that it could make it hard to work, and I've heard that can affect personnel changes too. Then there are the rumors that would start going around behind our backs.
I wouldn't be a fan of that either.
Right? Tataishi-kun wouldn't like that either, right? Let's do our best so that no one finds out.
Yeah. I'd really hate it if Mitsuya was the subject of rumors, but is she even aware of those?
We finally started dating, so I'd really like to cherish this.
Well, I ended up falling for someone who works at the same company, so it can't be helped. That's true. I still don't really get why it's a fantasy, though.
And also, it'd be embarrassing, if everybody knew we were dating.
Is this why?
Huh?
It just clicked for me. The person I like works at the same company.
And that has been Manga Podcast Theater. Brad. Protag-kun has followed us from our isekai, and now he's in our romance arc. Get him out.
What are you talking about?
He's such a nothing. Hi, we're into the talk about situation. Now
He's
that
an
we've exited the theater.
accountant. What do you expect?
Did I write a manga about him? He's such a nothing. He has what is a personality trait that he has? Does he have any hobbies? Does he have any interest? Does he show any mark of like visual interest? He's a nothing burger.
No, that's the whole point, is that he's a person who doesn't want to stand out, so he has to keep this a secret.
Then I don't want to read about him. He's lame. He has no character. He's boring. All these books are written about Protag-kun. Fuck Protag-kun. Non-sexually. I don't want him to get any. He doesn't deserve it. He's a dry fish, but that could be tasty, so he's not even that.
It's a hide-and-seek romance.
No, I like that. The reason we did this series, because you suggested it, was because I liked that part of Sweat and Soap. But the part of Sweat and Soap that I liked was that there was no Protag-kun. Both of them, the girl's a little Protag. What was the one I did for ladies? I gave them a different honorific, I think.
Chan.
It was a Proton Chan. Like, she's a little... Proton Chan. My favorite Let's Player. Like, she has a little bit of that, like, insert thing, but it's like, I liked it because, like, she kind of had stuff going on, but, like, the dude was, like, somebody. He had, like, drive, he had a look, he had, like, bumpy edges. Like, he wasn't just this, like, perfectly shaped rectangle. Like, this is just so, and I know it's chapter 1, but, like, this is, like, there's always the thing where it's like, oh, could I replace this woman in this show or this book with a sexy lamp? He could be replaced with a Protag-kun lamp. Easy. He's nothing. He's empty.
You just hate normal people.
Be more. That's not even normal people. Normal people have like interests and hobbies and things they're about. This is 100% fantasy because it's the voiceless protagonist so you can put yourself in the situation. That's all it is.
A little bit.
They have no personality, so you like a freaking Muppet can shove your hand up in there and pretend it's you for a little while. And I can't do that because these humans are not humans because they have no personality or drive or interest besides lady.
It's funny
or
you
whatever
say
they're
that
doing.
considering how much you like Muppets.
What? I know. I felt bad when I went down that path of like, sorry, Muppets. I didn't mean to besmirch you like that. I don't like the like, I got the girl somehow despite having, to quote the Not Children Anymore, zero riz. Brad, I do not understand how you like, I know I'm like extra spicy about it, but like, I don't know how you read these and go, yes, my fantasy.
Because I like to see people in love. I enjoy that. It's a nice fuzzy feeling.
I like that feeling when it feels like there is a relationship and not two dolls being mushed together because that's what the writer said, which admittedly is what it's always is because it's a romance story. But like, this is one where it was just like, these are empty. These are nothing. And this is, I mean, I guess that extends to where we open the curtain to our own psyches. Like, that's my position on love in the world. It's just like, there has to be something there or else it's just all surface dressing. If a stiff breeze could knock it over, it's not love.
I think there's something incredibly nice about just being comfortable with someone. Like, everything doesn't have to be an adventure. Now, I understand. I do understand where you're coming from. You're reading a story. Like, your regular everyday life has your moments of just being comfortable being around.
Yeah.
And so when you're reading something, you want it to be beyond your everyday life.
I want to beyond my everyday life. I want a story that I haven't seen. I want feelings I haven't felt.
Yeah.
I want something novel.
I think from my perspective, I read so much stuff and 90% of it or more is adventurous and crazy things are happening all the time. And so when I get these series that are just like, these people are just, I mean, there's always a hook to it. The hook here is they have to keep it a secret and they're keeping things on the down low and all that kind of stuff. But like, for the most part, they're just enjoying each other's company.
This feels like a step down from Sweat and Soap because that had that plus the extra like weird, they work at a soap company smell stuff. And this felt like removing that one major element that I found like intriguing and weird And admittedly, as I kept reading, I guess as an update on that, as I kept reading Sweat and Soap, I've fallen off of it because all of the weird stuff has gone out the door, and now it's just a normal relationship, which is nice. It's pleasant.
Which is why I like it.
But it's not something it doesn't hold my interest, because it's like everything's generally fine, and that's nice, but like there's no doki doki moment. Like, my heart's not pounding. It's very normal. Like, I've seen this. Like, I don't need this again unless it's doing something that is new to my brain.
Yeah.
I'd rather shove something weird into it than just like, it's fine. And like, I mean, I don't know. We've had this before on the podcast. Like, I appreciate in some ways that you are so even-keeled compared to me, because it gives a better thing for the reader to latch on to however they're feeling about it, because I know I'm in the minority usually of the time on these. But like, I don't know. That's not why I read manga, but really anything. I need things that I have not seen before that are novel, and if it's not like tingling my brain anymore, I'm not interested in. I could be doing something else.
Maybe, so put it this way. So like, I'm married. I have a child.
These are correct statements. I am not either of those things.
My day-to-day life consists of working and making sure things around the house are taken care of, making sure my wife is all right, making sure my son is okay. Like, it's just standard everyday stuff. So
a very respectable life.
When I'm reading these kind of things, Sweat and Soap, I have a crush at work, even the ones that take place like high school romance stuff, when it's just the slice of life, everyday thing, but there's little interjections of interesting things. In Sweat and Soap, it's the smelling thing that's going on, and the situations they get into because of that, along with her, extreme anxiety. Crush at Work, it's this we got to keep it secret thing. Komi-san has some pretty wacky stuff in there, but I like this idea of we have this nice everyday life, but then we're going to interject these little bits of excitement here and there because of keeping it secret, or here's a weird character interaction or something like that. It's like I get to be living my life, but have an extra layer on top of it of something interesting happening, as opposed to I'm going to go out on an adventure,
You keep approaching it like the concept of the secret office romance is not something that interests my brain, and it is. That was one of the reasons you suggested, because I said I liked that part of Sweat and Soap. It's just that these characters are like cardboard paper cutouts, so I don't want to see them do anything. They're not interesting. They have no extra, they don't have interesting designs, they don't have interesting views on the world. They are just there to be vehicles for your fantasy to put your face over them, and I can't do that. But I would like to vicariously live the secret office romance. I think that's fun. I enjoyed watching Agretzko, and that has like little office romance stuff, but also A, there's other things going on, and B, they're cute like Sanrio characters, which kind of helps out. And also, I really didn't like the main relationship on that. They like teased a lot of other much better ones, but like, it needs something else going on, and for me, it doesn't have that. I want to experience this concept, but I want to experience it with more drive, more voice, more something. Like, if we're just futzing around, like, I like that. Like, that's if it's specifically like the how do we keep it secret? Make it half sexy, half gag manga. Like, just give it something. Like, I just need something else than just like, we are going out. I am Protag-kun or Protag-chan because I'm a man now. I'm not a teenager because I work in this office. Like, he's just, anytime I see that boxed character of just like, here is Norman, I instantly go to like threat level 11 because it's like, what are you going to have to say, author? I've seen this man in a billion other manga. He's never interesting. He has nothing going on in his life except the thing the manga's written about. He's super boring and I wouldn't want to talk to him.
I think I've noticed something here. I think when we read these first chapters of things, there's a different way that we are approaching things beyond just like, oh, this is our different tastes. I'm getting the feeling that you are being very strict about first chapters. Like, the first chapter is a thing in and of itself. And like, you almost aren't allowing yourself to imagine where it could go.
So I could be disappointed.
That would interest. Well, maybe
it has to hook me.
I mean, yeah.
This is why, like, a thing can have a cool concept, but I feel like a lot of the times what I imagine in my head is not what they do, and whatever they do is not as interesting.
Sure.
You have to hook me. There is a billion different things I could be doing at any given moment. I'm not going to spend time reading chapters of a manga I don't like.
Yeah.
Or doesn't hold my interest. It doesn't have to be like, this is not bad. It's just so painfully,
And I think
that I don't, well, like...
For the new Shonen Jump series, there's obviously a component of that of like, it's brand new, nobody's read it, you know, we can only go off the first chapter.
Yeah.
But I think in a lot of these, like the Isekai one we did for 29 and this one, where I'm coming to you and saying, hey, I think you'll like this. There's this interesting premise that's going on here.
But the last time you did that and I read more of it, it didn't pay out and I got pissy about it.
Which one was that?
I don't remember. It's been years ago now. It was one of the isekais you brought up for Review Stravaganza. Like, you've done this before, and when it's like, this looks like the same as the last time, like, won't get fooled again. Not that you're attempting to fool me, but, like, I think... I mean, we've gotten to this in other things, but I guess to state it more plainly, like, the way that both of us value our time is very different. And that's why it's like, hi, you get one chapter to at least bait the hook a little bit. And if you give me nothing, I have zero reason to go back because, you know, again, there's a billion other manga I could be reading. I could go back to reading Golden Kamuy, a manga that I love and have read so many effing times to try to finish it as it slowly came out in America. Like, there are things that I love and will just pour my time into because they continually... excite and jiggle my brain because they are written with a point of view and a concept and they've got bumpy edges and they're different and they're interesting to me. And if your first chapter is not going to, like, I know a first chapter doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to, like, do something to go, like, I want to see more of this, and not saying, like, hey, let me imagine all the things it could be and then it's none of those.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pay me up front.
I guess...
I could be reading a manga, I could be playing a video game, I could be going on a walk or listening to a podcast, I could be working on one of my scripts, I could be working on Zumba choreography, I could go hang out with friends, I could be doing work, I could be cleaning the house.
I guess I'm thinking this in terms of like, let's put a little bit of this on credit. So I don't know.
Brad,
you know,
you're running out of credit.
I don't want to.
You're running out of credit.
You say that, but like you also are only reading the first chapter of these.
Correct.
So it's from a standpoint
and they
of
do
like
nothing.
of me going like, yes, we are only reading the first chapter for the podcast, but also just imagine a little bit what the next couple chapters might be like, and don't be so angry about it.
I'm sure I can, and I will read them and I'll go, that's what I thought.
Maybe.
Because I know. We've done this dance before. I'm not saying every manga has to be Astro Baby when it comes to first chapters, but like, you could do a little more to grab my attention than the most basic B thing possible.
This is also...
with the most basic B designs, the most basic B setup, the most basic B office. Like, it's just so basic and normal. It's like, I live in that world. I read manga and fantasy thing. Like, I do like read the manga because I get to escape reality to an extent. Like, that's why it's pop culture. It's an escapism.
Yeah.
Why would I escape to a boringer version of the world that I live in with a tiny little dash of something? Like,
I feel like that makes it more real, like more relatable.
I find more relation in strong feelings within the whatever's going on. It's why I love Undead Unluck, because even though it's this insane, over-the-top, shonen-y thing, like, it's the thing that makes me feel the most, because it's got big emotions.
And I think that's
everything else.
That's probably the main difference between us, is
Yes.
that you have very big emotions.
Yes.
And it's not that I never do.
No.
It's just that
yours are different, and that's okay.
my
That's
base
valid.
state is much lower.
Yes, I'm humming at a just higher RPM. That's not necessarily a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's how I operate. It's the world I have to live in, that I'm just spinning so fast.
Well, I'll say this then. Maxie B, you recommended Sweat and Soap to us.
You did.
You will like this. I'm speaking directly to Maxie right now.
Oh.
This will get you. So check this one out.
I'm counter betting against that. I don't think Max ZB will like this, especially with knowledge of the bonus episode of this romance arc that was also suggested by Max ZB, which has a very interesting spice and flavor to it that is similar, in some ways spicier than Sweat and Soap. But you will get there, dear listener, in a couple of weeks. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We will see. We shall see, dear listeners. Okay, we need to get into the actual thing of this.
So, yeah. Well, since we didn't cover this yet, this is actually completed.
Oh.
As is Sweat and Soap. But the final volume 6 of this, has not dropped at time of recording. It actually might be out. No, because it's October. I think this will be out before that.
Dropped in America or dropped at all?
The official English.
Okay, cool.
I don't know about the Japanese volume release, but I do know
I'm sure if it's coming out here, it's already out in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you check this out wherever, I think there's a couple free chapters you can check out up on Kodansha.
Oh, it's on Kodansha. Okay.
And then if you like it, you can get all the volumes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we said this, but after we recorded the Sweat and Soap episode, I went out and I bought all of the volumes.
Yes. Was it just a box set, or did we just find them all
It's
individually?
two boxes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a lot of parallels with this one. Not quite as big of a hook on this, but
Yeah, I would say, I said it, like Sweat and Soap I have fallen off of just because it was just like, I was reading and it was like, it feels like a chore to go back to it, and it's not bad and it didn't lose it, it's just like, we've settled in now, and that's when my interest in things wanes.
I did think it was interesting.
I continually like it, like I think it moves forward in a way that makes a lot of sense and feels, it dangles just enough.
Yeah. There's like a
conflict and then settles it in, and it's a very pleasant experience. But
there's like 11 volumes of Sweat and Soap.
I don't know what they're going to do. But I think I fell out somewhere in 3, and I don't know what they're going to do for 7 more.
When it sort of settled in like volume 3 or 4, I was like, wow, that seems really early.
Yeah.
What are they going to do the rest of the time?
I don't know.
But yeah, I think I'm on volume 5 right now, so we'll see.
We'll continue updating as we go along with this then. But yeah, I have a crush at work. Feelings. I don't like it. I wanted to, and I didn't, because Protag-kun was there.
You really hate normal Japanese men, don't you? Which I think is,
it's such a male power fantasy.
I think that's the whole, like,
I've seen these characters in freaking like smut that teenagers have written on the internet, because they're just these little non-personalitied self-inserts that it's like, I get the girl because I wrote it to have the girl.
Or maybe Japan is very homogenous and most of the men are exactly like that.
That's boring. Lame.
I do think
here women come with generic man A.
I think the target audience for this is
salarymen. Yeah.
And women. Salary women.
Yeah.
But yeah, people who work in an office, and it's a fantasy that they can have of like, yeah, I like that person over there. What if we were dating and we had to keep it secret?
I wish it was spicier.
There's more spice later on. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
There's some light nudity in chapter 2.
Oh my, light nudity. Let's land this plane.
I think we have to do High Noon.
We have to do High Noon. F. I didn't prepare for this. I'm going to get shot. So High Noon, when we are at alternate ends of how we feel about something, and I don't think it will ever swap the other way. So generally High Noon means that I have to say something I like about it.
And I have to say something that I don't like about it. And I'm going to take the high road here. I'm not going to say that the thing I don't like about this is that chapter 1 is too short, because this is another one. Do that. I've used that
about the contents.
I used that for the Isekai episode. That was definitely one that was definitely too short. It was actually a problem that it was too short. This one, the length of the first chapter isn't really a problem. I think you get plenty of information for what you're getting into in the first chapter. So that said, I I'm actually going to agree with you. This isn't a deal breaker for me.
No, obviously.
But I do agree that Tataishi is a bit too generic.
Yep.
Because Mitsuya is not. She's a bubbly redhead.
That's my usual struggle with a lot of these is boy is most generic man that has ever been, and girl is like personality and hobbies and thoughts and feelings, and it's like
and
gestures.
I don't need this male, I don't need the protagonist to be like crazy off the wall, anything like that. But
No.
like, yeah, he needs a bit more.
He can't just be a basic loafer, but like put some raisins in there at least. I'm not asking you to bake a cake or anything insane. Like just make him someone.
His defining characteristic is how stable and calm he is.
Yeah, which is the classic thing with all of these
But not
Final Fantasy inserts.
But
a lot
not
of the time.
cold. Like there's an interesting.
You want to be emotional enough to connect with your lady.
Yeah,
Like,
there's an interesting
the-
characteristic that they do sometimes where like the guy is very withdrawn and like cold and doesn't talk to people and everything. And there's an interesting story involved there. That is interesting in and of itself, even though he might not be interesting on his own.
Yeah.
But Tataishi is just like, yeah, just a normal guy. So yeah. I could use a bit more, even though I still enjoy it.
Brad, it means genuinely a lot that you just said that and agreed with me, even if only a little bit. Okay. I do have my one good thing. I like that she's mean to him while at work. I like that dynamic. That was like the one little thing of like, that could be fun.
It goes on for a long time.
But it seems like he's not like, I could see, as somebody who likes power dynamics, I was like, this could be fun, but the way the rest of it was written and how he's just such a like, I'm here and present and man-shaped, I was like, they're not going to play with that as much as I want them to, are they? So I would say I like the idea. It's like, and I have to be mean to you, otherwise my love for you will come pouring out. Like I like that, and that she's so bubbly when you cut to home. Like I did like that.
So I'll tell people here now at the end. I did figure that you wouldn't like this, which is part of the reason why
you suggested it.
No, I thought there was a chance because of the connection to Sweat and Soap that you liked. But I knew there was a good possibility, which is why I was like, let's do something interesting for the summary. Not only because the summary would be boring otherwise, but
I did appreciate having manga podcast theater. I will say, because between this and the Isekai episode, which had come out recently when we're recording this, like, Brad, you know me fairly well. Like, you've seen the things inside of me. We're on record talking for literally days on end.
I'm going back to the Isekai that if you read more chapters, you will find something you like.
But, like, you haven't, like... Part of that we've talked about, and we talked about the Discord, but I want to put it somewhere, is that we have a goal that, like, I don't even necessarily know now I'm talking about loud that it's an isekai. I need you to find the thing, not that I like, but I love, that is literally like oh, fuck, I'm excited to read this. Like I said, we've hung out enough. You've seen what I'm about enough. It doesn't even need to be a thing you like. Originally it was going to be find an isekai like, but we've technically done that. We are going to have an isekai arc maybe at some point now that I'm changing the parameters of this mixing. I need you to find me a home run that I haven't read yet for me. And you know me. We are literally on record talking about manga for how long did we say it was? At least like a week, if not more. Or at least a couple days.
Oh, as far as hours are concerned, we
did the math on that at some point.
We're probably above 250 at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of audio of us talking to each other about this stuff. You know what makes my brain tick.
Yeah.
You might need to reach out of whatever your normal pull is, but that is my mission to you, Brad.
I don't know if you can hear it on mic,
find it.
The gears in my brain are turning right now.
Because you've done this a couple times, and at most I've either hated them or I've been like, it's pretty good.
You know what happens?
You haven't hit... Because, like, you've seen me. You've seen me in the series I like that are, like, catnip to my brain. Because when it hits, I am, like, ride or die.
So and
I trust you can find that for me. I want to see that.
This one, not quite. But, like, the Isekai one is a good example of what happens is I've read a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I think back on it and go, oh, there's that thing and that thing and that thing and that thing that Current will like. But then you read the first chapter or two, and
And
you're
I
like,
hit 5
no.
landmines that I described on recording multiple times.
And I'm just like, but all this other stuff that's later. And you're like, I don't have time.
Pay me now. I have a hard time sitting down to read. Whatever I'm reading has to hook the heck out of me. I like that this what this episode became was just the let's air this laundry finally. So yes, this episode starts Isekai Sensei-Sama's quest to find a manga that within the first chapter I will give it at least a great ranking.
I'm going to have to go down my list of 800 things that I'm following and see if there's any that I'm currently reading.
You can use any, like, you can call a friend, you can, as long as it is out of my eyesight, you can contact whoever you want to attempt to, like, stage this like a surprise party. This is my quest for you.
So anybody listening to this, DM me on Discord, send an email, because I'm the only one who gets the emails first.
Yeah,
and then
correct. That'll be a good secret way to do it.
So
Don't let me know.
Give me...
you will have to disclose if somebody helped you then. I will still give you credit, but I need to know for certain if it's coming straight from...
Yeah, that's fair.
Straight from the ankles or not, so... Okay. This has been...
I can hear Maxie's gears turning
Maxie's already good. Maxie's like 2 for 2 at this point. Or, yeah, well, soon will be 2 for 2. But yes, this has been I Have a Crush at Work. And with that, thank you for listening. And Brad, hit me with those plugs.
Well, as always, we want to thank Segoy Mart for partnering with us. You probably know what Segoy Mart is by now, but in case you don't, they are a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch. They got all kinds of stuff you can't get outside Japan. Our listeners can click the link in the description or use code APR15 at checkout and get 15% off their first order. And we also want to know what you think, so hit us up on social media, which you can find all the links for on animepodcasterreincarnation.com. You can also find the posts for each individual episode where you can leave comments if you want. But you can also just join us on Discord. We have a lot of good conversations going on there. And then, the episode chats that we do there once the episodes drop. So check that out. We've also got a Patreon. Our supporters get perks like getting to vote on which series we cover on heroin addiction, bonus episodes, which we actually haven't had one in a little while. We're going to have to think about doing something there.
Yeah.
And you can also get the high quality stereo version of the podcast early if you sign up there. And we want to know what perks you'd like, so let us know. And of course, we got to shout out our patrons.
At our Reincarnator tier, we've got Cakedorf and Moon. At our Commoner tier, we've got Kill Hour and Arena.
So thanks to all our patrons.
Thank you, Brad, and thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure you listen to all the other podcasts on our feed, and... Oh, shh, Brad, we can't let anybody know. This is a secret podcast now. Welcome, everybody. This is Shonen Jumping the Gum. Gum? What the heck is your stage direction under breath? Because every time you put that in, I don't understand what you're trying to communicate.
It's the thing where, like, the text is, like, smaller and down here. So you're saying something.
Because under your breath is like, yeah, go have a nice day, fucker.
I mean...
That's under your breath in my
yes,
understanding of the stage direction.
Mean.
No, but it's
so
not.
It's like, well, I'm telling you this.
Yeah,
and
I get it now.
I need you to understand what I'm telling you.
That's why I'm asking.
It's really important that you understand this.
Yes.
But so you have to listen to what I'm saying.
I'm glad I got this out of my system for this one, so we can get into the other two more fully.